Howdy everybody, welcome to Todd's Tackle Box.
Howdy.
We've got our local legend here, Dave Haralson. We're the local tournament fisherman, offshore fisherman, just a local legend. So Dave brought some pictures. I'll try and scan them and get them into the video as we go. But let's talk about what you got.
Well, these pictures I've got at random. I've got about 18 of them or so. That is the state record long-fin mako shark.
The state record.
Caught in 1985 on a 46 Hatteras called the Blues Chaser. Formerly
The same Blues Chaser that's here now?
Yeah. Through different owners, different engines now. But anyway, we were not fishing for swordfish. We were actually fishing, for sharks. We were fishing for swordfish that night. And it was a slow night. We had a lot of sharks bite us, small sharks bite us off and rash up leaders. But somebody stayed on watch with those reels all night. That's how you got to do. If you got a line in the water, you got to have somebody on watch. And later on towards the morning, near dawn, ran out of squid, so we had 4 mackerels down. And you're going to get a few more shark bites when you do put max down, but we were fishing. It was time for me to go take my nap. So I went down to the V-berth and I woke up Ed Keller, Captain Ed Keller, a dear friend. And I just got all comfortable in the V-berth, and about that time I heard the engines firing up. Evidently, as soon as I'd walked in the salon, before I'd gotten in bed, one of those 80Ws had gone off, and we were hooked up. And Eddie Keller woke Veer up, and Veer went up, fired up, and we were hooked up. So I drug my butt back up into the cockpit, and we are definitely hooked up, and we're in reverse, and we're floating ice chests, and waves are coming over the transom, and we're getting dumped on this fish.
That's the spookiest part about the whole thing.
This is a big fish. We don't know what we have on. If it's a shark, it's a bigger. It's a big one for sure. That is part of the excitement. We were hoping for a swordfish because we were fishing a tournament. Actually, they weren't giving points for swordfish back then, but they were for biggest fish. This was 1985. We were overrepresented on captains on board. Captain Vera Wells, Captain Ed Keller, Captain Willie Harris, and myself were working together with Don Ewing and Ralph Poucher of Creative Computers. So Don Ewing gets in the chair. Ralph looked at it and he didn't want none of that. He didn't want any part of that, I don't think. I believe he did take pictures and added some choice comments throughout the battle. But we didn't know, but we were set in for a good pushing 2 hours on that fish. And when the fish got close, we looked back and we saw a dark shape and we saw the tail. And we thought from the distance, that must be a swordfish. We didn't see the musky brownish color of a shark, a big shark. And got close, and sure enough, it was a mako shark. We pulled it alongside and got a good look at it. And the boat didn't have a transom door, so we had block and tackle all set up. We tail roped that thing, pulled it in the boat, and it was a handful. 664 pounds.
Wow.
The jaws were just exquisite. And Veer looked back in the record book and we realized that we just broke the record on the long fin mako by 300 pounds.
Wow! How far out were y'all?
We were actually out near Camel's Head, probably about 70 miles offshore.
Man!
We're inshore the eye of Camel's Head. So we'd done all the fishing we could for that day and headed for the dock. Waited in at Sea Ranch up by the swimming pool, and Got 664. Awesome. People were flocking down, snowbirds and stuff were all flocking down to take
What time of year was that?
That was late spring. I think it
spring?
was in May.
The mid-'80s?
It was in May, yeah.
What a time that would have had to have been.
Yeah. Let me show you, I should have got the Mako pictures together all in one place, but, yeah, it was quite a time.
So Camel's Head, that's got to be some deep water that far out, right?
Yeah, Camel's Head is in extremely deep water. Actually, it is
Is that the
almost 1,000 fathoms on the outside of
other than
Camel's
going
Head.
all the way to Perdido? Is that not the farthest out? Camel's Head would be the farthest out you'd go?
No, there's a lot of different places we've discovered, but back then Camel's Head was one of our choice locations.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah, there's the old swimming pool in the background.
Sea Ranch.
Ralph Poucher took the pictures. Don Ewing, the anglers, on the left side of that. But it was pretty amazing to us.
So what kind of process do you go through to register it as being a record fish?
Well, you have to submit it, of course. And this wasn't submitted for IGFA, it was just submitted for the state.
For the state.
And I'm not sure what the details were. I know when I've submitted for world record previously, IGFA, they want the leader, they want the lure.
Really?
They want 100 feet of line.
Wow.
Yeah, they want to inspect everything.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that record will never be broken.
Well, no, it's like $15,000 fine to catch one of those fish.
Because
the longfin is an endangered species now.
So if you want to break the record, you're going to have to pay a $15,000 fine or better, because it's an endangered species.
That's true.
So more than likely, that's going to be a record that's.
And it's not good publicity in a tournament to show up weighing in an illegal fish, whether it's too small or whether it's just illegal.
Man,
because
how cool.
because of the.
It had to have been just a priceless moment.
It was, and you really don't know that until years later, too. Yeah. But that's the Mako.
How cool is that? You know what? That was a wonderful story. Why don't we? We'll shut down this video.
Okay.
And we'll go to the next one.
All right.
And we'll keep these short and sweet.
Okay, let's do that. And
But
we'll talk.
we all have short attention spans.
Yeah.
Especially me.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I resemble
How
that.
cool.
I resemble that remark.
Man, that was awesome. Way to go. Moved into the Houston area,
Yeah.
the Dallas area, and by God, Austin, with all of the Samsung supposed to be going into
Right.
Austin. Tesla's Cybertruck is going
They
to
all
be in
fish
Austin.
out of Corpus.
So, you know,
Out of
we got
Port Aransas.
SpaceX.
Yeah. Hopefully
Down
we
here.
get some more people with big money. Primarily, we need a place for the boats to be parked here.
You know, the cycle. Yeah, that's true.
You got to have a place for them.
Yeah, where is it? Unless you got a place on the water or port of call.
Somewhere
Sea
along
Ranch
that
Marina.
west side somewhere. You want to not have to go hide your boat when the wind gets bad. You know, the old Queens Point location would have been fine if the GLO would authorize a non-flow through seawall, permanent concrete. Those floating docks would have been just fine. The water's too shallow on the south side to build up a swell. So those floating docks would have never disintegrated. Unless you had a storm with a 10-foot plus storm surge.
And raised everything up.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'd at least have enough advance notice. And just like whenever they have some storms up north, a lot of those money boats will travel south here.
Well, yeah, it depends. You can travel the wrong way. I've done that before. You know, I've gone north because I knew the storm was going to hit south, and had the storm turn and come up, and went through the eye of one in Port O'Connor, Texas. What do you want to talk about next?
What you got next?
Well, I've got some tournament photos. Well, let's go to the spearfish. In my career with Lester Alberthal, he was the CEO of Electronic Data Systems based out of Plano, Texas.
Oh, EDS.
Yeah.
Oh, the Fortress.
He was the CEO.
I've been there.
The first time I went there, it blew my mind.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't know that the gentleman that I was doing work for at Boardwalk Condominiums, he had a 32-foot blackfin. And I did some maintenance work and some detail work for him. And eventually he found time and asked me to take him fishing. And
32 blackfin.
he fell in love with marlin fishing. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he bought that boat from Bob Bird. It was a demo boat for blackfin. It's called the Chingadera. All of Bob Bird's another classic, or a classic Texas legend. Sold it to Lester Alberthal, our first Windcrest. We had that boat for a couple years and enjoyed it. And then let's see, around 1990 or 89, we bought a 53 Hatteras, old school.
You went from the 32
blackfin to 53
to a 53 hat.
Yeah. And it was a nice boat.
That's a heck of an upgrade, man.
Built by a fellow who had a machine shop in Galveston, or Houston. He had rebuilt the tower. He found a mold for the new style flybridge on the 53. He installed that. I mean, he completely gutted,
he built his
gutted
own
the
boat.
boat.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
It used to be called the Zorba. And it was parked up at A-Dock in Galveston. We sea trawled it, and during a norther in the Galveston jetties, and I got to fly home on the Learjet
Oh, man.
for the first time.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, man, this guy's in serious business, EDS. After I'd done some research, they did a lot of work, secret work.
Oh, yeah.
And last I heard, they were like submarines. Part of their contracts. But anyway, the second boat we bought was a beautiful 53 Hatteras. All the boats were called Windcrest. There was no Windcrest 1 or Windcrest 2 or whatever. Well, Les had taken up, we had won a club series in '87 on the blackfin. And when Les decided he wanted a bigger boat, he decided he wanted to have family and room to put them.
Yeah.
And of course we stepped up in our tackle situation and everything. And I asked Les, I said, when are you going to let your family fish? Because when we went fishing and we'd hook up a blue, he jumps in the chair, all bent butt, big tackle stuff. We set up a date, an overnighter, with his daughters, his wife Karen, Kari, and Kelly Alberthal. And we went out for a fun fishing trip. We left late, and I thought we'd just go to Camel's Head and pluck around and see what the morning bite was going to look like. And of course at night, all the lights on and everything, and playing with squid and doing a little shark fishing. We didn't catch nothing. But Lupe Sanchez was with me. And we kept the girls entertained at night. They freaked out on the squid. And eventually they went to sleep. We all went to sleep. And got up early, of course, and started fishing our way slowly. When you're way out there, you can cover a lot of really good deep water territory, just slow trolling, or 8-knot trolling, zigging and zagging. And we had stand-up tackle set up. No bent butts, and told Les he was banned from the cockpit. Well, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're bit a little blue marlin, about 125 pounds. So we get Kelly, the youngest daughter. She was probably about 17 or so. Get her in a belt, and the particular rod it hit was mine. It was a 50 stand-up, 50 wide international short butt, short stick. You know, that's a lot of leverage. So we caught that fish relatively easy, probably about 10 or 15 minutes. We thought, all right, well, at least we're not skunked and we're on a roll. We didn't have anything on the boat before then. Well, we didn't kill the fish. And it was about an hour and 10 minutes later, we're working a rip, running north and south. And we hook up again, same rod, same position. And it was a small hooker, green and yellow hooker, Frank Johnson Molecraft. And we get Kari, the oldest daughter. We get her locked in, and she's fighting stand up and enjoying it. And I kept on nudging my boss, going, "See, man, you could do that. And aren't you glad you took the kids fishing?" Well, we get the fish to the boat, and Loopy wires the fish, takes a good look at it. We're just going to put a tag in it, and he goes, "It's a long-billed spearfish." And I thought, what? I had to go see this. You know, I didn't want to get one release or shake off the hook before I got to see it. So I scurried down, left one in gear, left them both in gear, and went downstairs and took a good look at it. This was the fish.
Wow. Look at those eyes.
And the coloration. What a trip. And you'd think long bill, but it's got a really short bill on it, which you'll see. Here's a picture of Kari and Lupe Sanchez. You want to show that one? That one's. But once again, you don't see any of the amber colors you see in some of the other marlin. They're just silver and blue, beautiful color blue. She's got all her gear on, and she's one happy camper.
How cool.
And we figured out, looking at the record book, that we just beat the state record by 30 pounds. All tackle world record for a spearfish is 90 pounds.
Wow.
It's a small fish. It's a small fish. Good buddy of mine, Todd Brawley, on the Royal Flush earlier that year, had released one a little bit over 30, and it was submitted for a state record. So I knocked him out. But yes, there's a lengthy process if you're going to fish International Game Fishing Association rules, IGFA rules, and if you're going to submit a record fish. You can see, this is Kari. We're at Jim's Pier. We've already weighed the fish they want you to weigh in 2 different locations. We weighed in at Sea Ranch first, then we went through the bridge and went down to Jim's Pier. You'll notice that Kari has a length of line in her, where she's got the leader in her hand, the lure's in her hand, the weight is clearly visible, and there's a bunch of characters there hanging out, looking around. You know, we pull in there. Whenever the Windcrest boats pulled in, we make quite a display.
A good fish will catch a lot of fishermen.
Right, that's true. But that's the story about the spearfish. You want to move to another picture? Or?
Outstanding. How cool is that?
Well, I thought pretty dang cool since I'd already participated.
How many world record fish have you been a part of?
Well, it's just that one.
What about the other
And
one?
then, well, the other one was
Mango.
the Texas state record.
Okay. Well, what?
Yeah, both of them are perpetual state records because they're both on the endangered species list.
So they'll never be kicked.
Right. So the odds of me participating in 2 Texas state record fish were pretty high.
Now, when you said they were both caught off the same spot, that's the up close. Your short.
Well, we'll get to that when we pull out a diagram.
All right.
When we pull out a legal
I
pad.
think what I could do is use like a big dry erase board.
Yeah.
I need to get a big dry erase board.
That'll work real
And
good.
then we can explain.
Yeah, we could put it somewhere right here. School
maybe,
teacher.
maybe in the off, right? School teacher, right? Ah, that'd be cool. How cool. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, let's do that.